Hi, everyone. Welcome to Coach Mo's Bring Your Soul to Work. I have another fantastic client, Kim Rigdon. Hello, Kim.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Mo.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about your story and your successes and where you've come from. Kim is a Waterloo, Ontario resident, and she and I kind of met on Facebook a little bit, and it's an interesting story that we will tell about. But Kim, why don't you let us know a little bit about the work and career that you have, and then we'll kind of dive right into your story.
Okay, I am in emergency services. I have been in emergency services for 27 years. I started as a paramedic on a tiny little Gulf island off the coast of Vancouver in British Columbia and worked my way into being an emergency medical dispatcher. Discovered I really love being an emergency medical dispatcher because the thing I love about uh, paramedicine and helping people is establishing a situation to be as calm as it could be. And as a paramedic on a busy shift, I could do that 10 or 14 times, but as an
Wow.
emergency medical dispatcher, I could do it 100 times
Yeah.
over the phone.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I naturally went into training and then ended up managing the department. And my role went from managing department to working with the international company that creates 911 protocols. And I did training for them and I did quality assurance. And so that's my story. We'll get, I think, to the rest of it.
Exactly. And you ended up in Waterloo, I think, because your husband got reassigned.
My husband got transferred. And so I left the agency that I had been with for 17 years, came and then did consulting in the 911 world. It was great fun. I got to travel to Ireland, all over North America training, and then a local 911 center came calling and asked me to apply for a position in
Came
there.
calling. That's so funny. So Kim and I met on one of my Facebook pages. As if you've been following any of my work, you know that one of my most fun replacement phrases whenever we're worried or in doubt or whatever is just everything always works out for me. So I play with that phrase all the time. I talk about it. My clients know that they live by that because everything always does work out for us. But sometimes the whole me thing gets people. And sometimes people think that I'm saying that everything always works out for me as in we are a selfish being on the planet. But once we get past all of that, we realize that the universe unfolds in our highest good. So Kim, I remember you kind of saying, well, things don't always work out for me, or they don't always work out for people I see. So let's just kind of go back and forth a little bit about how that kind of played out and
Sure.
seeing that saying and going, what?
Yeah, when I first heard you say that or read it, I had a visceral reaction to it. I'm like, no, that's not right. Things don't always work out. And how could you even say that things always work out? And I had a moment of thinking, you're really misleading people. That's not right to set people up to think that everything's always going to work out for them.
Yeah.
And the irony of it was, as I'm reading you saying this, I went back to school to study psychology and I was studying positive psychology, which was telling me the exact same thing. But I was
Why
like,
is the world against me?
yeah, exactly. And it really boiled down to me not believing everything would work out for me. It could work out for other people. I think it was a deserving thing. Other people could deserve things to work out for them, but it would be selfish and wrong for me to want that as well.
Yeah. Well,
I couldn't
we
see
could probably talk all day about the whole selfish thing because, as you know, because we've known each other now for a year and a half, being selfish to me has a totally different context than how I was raised with it. I was raised Catholic, and being selfish means that we're taking from others and we're being greedy and a horrible person. And the way I define it now is that when we are caring for our selfhood,
Yes.
and it might appear to be or feel like we're being selfish, we're actually being the higher version of ourselves. And then lo and behold, now we can be a better mom, a better career person, a better professional. And the whole selfish thing shifts to being, well, when I'm like my best person, then everything else goes the better way.
I'm pleased to say that you taught me well and I learned that lesson. And it really is about self-care. And you
Yeah.
cannot show up in the world and be your best person if you don't take care of yourself. I
Yes.
fully agree now. I get it.
Yeah. A year and a half later. No, Kim was a
It was a
very
while.
quick study because here we are. Everything always works out for me. And I'm like posting on Facebook, just try it for a day. And you had said to me, I think you had a really long commute to work, right? You had like a super long
It
commute.
is 70 miles at that time.
Okay.
So 100 kilometers, 70 miles
Yeah. So
in traffic. So minimum of an hour and a half, sometimes 3 or 4.
yeah, that's a lot of time to be
A lot of time.
ruminating about something. So I said, just like think about that on your way to work,
Mhm.
and I don't know, maybe you'll kind of like start feeling it. So what started to happen with you?
Well, I remember thinking, oh, you're not going to stop. You're not going to stop bugging me about this until I do it. So I thought, okay,
You had me there. You had me
well,
there.
and I really think I initially did it just to say I tried it so I could tell you it didn't work. Because you're persistent. You were wonderful that way and are such a champion for women. I'm like, okay, fine. Everything always works out for me. And there are a couple things where I had it was really visceral reaction to things. I'm very easy to go to worry or anxiety, and so something would happen, and I'd be like, oh, you know, and I can tell you, I think it's from being a paramedic. I can tell
Yeah,
you every possible negative outcome to a situation. So that's
yeah,
always my first
yeah.
go-to. I would have something come up, and I would have my initial, oh no, and then I thought, okay, what do I have to lose? I think you might have even said that. How is it going to, what do you have
Right,
to lose if you just say it? So I'm like, okay,
right.
everything always works out for me. And every time that kind of anxious worry thought came in, I would just, everything always works out for me with not any belief in it at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, right.
Um, and really because I also have a Christian faith that I thought, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to trust that whatever it is, and God can come into it as He will, and everything will always work out. And then it did. And I was like,
Darn
wait,
it,
what?
darn it, that
I was
plan
like,
didn't
oh,
work
she
out.
was right.
Huh.
And the biggest thing about it is it interrupted that worry and anxiety a bit. And I think, and I love when things like that, you can see the scientific reason in it.
Yes.
And there is a very scientific reason. When you think
Yeah.
everything always works out for you, you scan your environment for things that are going to work out and you see them.
Yeah.
But if you're anxious and worried, you don't see them, so you can't take advantage of them.
But you see that too, right? Your
Yes.
reticular activating system is picking up
Yep.
matches for what you're thinking and feeling and believing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone drives a black Volvo because that's what I drive. Like, you
Yeah.
just keep seeing, you make matches. And
Yeah.
so now you're an expert on this because you not only have a psychology degree now, but you've been practicing this for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So I know that
I've been in my lovely job for a year and a half.
Oh yeah. So it was
like
months
2.5
before that.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So then we kind of played with each other a little bit about that, and you were like, "Oh, this is kind of working out." I remember before you actually joined my workshop, something really amazing happened to you with I guess you would call it a client, someone who had called you when you were actually working the phones, the grandmother.
Oh.
Do you remember this story?
Yeah.
And I was, when you told
Yeah.
me this story, I said to myself, and maybe I even shared it with you, I said, Kim, I don't think that would have ever crossed your path if you would have been down here at worry, anxious, and feeling victimized.
Mhm.
So share the story, because this
So
is one of the most precious things I've ever come across.
just briefly, because it's a long one. In my career, when I was an emergency medical dispatcher, I took a call from an 80-year-old lady whose 7-year-old granddaughter was in cardiac arrest from electrocution.
Frozen?
Yeah, I have it frozen.
You're not frozen for me, so go ahead. I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 10, 11 years ago now, I took a call from an 80-year-old lady who called because her granddaughter had been electrocuted and was in cardiac arrest. And so I had the privilege of telling this 80-year-old woman how to do CPR, which she did incredibly. And it was a long response time, so she did it for 8 minutes. Yeah, and everything just lined up, and they were able to transport her. And the quick ending of that part is that she made a full recovery from being in cardiac arrest for at least 20 or 30 minutes. and this grandma, like she was a kick-ass grandma. That's the way I thought about her then. It's the way I think about her now.
Yeah.
And later, I think the next year, our service had Lifesaver Awards, and I was able to meet the grandma, the mom and dad, and the daughter. And so I'm not going to cry, but I'm going to show you. This picture is taken there. So that is Emily and me a year after her cardiac arrest. And it was at a time in my career where I really didn't want to be there. I was tired of hearing everybody's worst day. And that call turned it around for me. It really connected me to the reason I was doing this again. And it really set me on fire. And that call was the reason I got into giving presentations at our international conference. I told that story and it really resonated with people. And I love being in front of a crowd. So I just went on from there, and I presented at that conference and other conferences every year since. It's one of my favorite things to do. But what you're talking about so that was that's a very, very special part of my career.
Yeah.
Then close to this time, 2 years ago, I got a LinkedIn message, and it was from Emily's mom, and it said, she found me on LinkedIn and said, because of you, I have a 17-year-old daughter today who I just took to do her fitting for her grad dress, and she wouldn't be here if you hadn't told my mom how to do CPR. And it was, I knew it mattered. I knew what I did mattered. I had no idea it would matter so much to someone 10 years later.
Yeah.
And one of the challenges with emergency medical dispatchers is we often don't get that positive reinforcement because we're unseen. We're a voice over the phone. I've been recognized as a paramedic by patients, but not as an EMD. And so and we ended up at this conference I mentioned the next year. It was 2 years ago, or a year ago, April, in New Orleans. We had her and her grandma and her sister now and Emily come, and we did this like 10-year recap, and they were there, and you should have heard. They were sitting at the front of the room, and people didn't realize who they were. And when we started talking and sort of halfway through the story, we introduced them, there was this audible gasp in the room. And then everybody was crying. I mean, they were crying. The people at the thing were crying.
Yeah.
It was, and she still keeps in touch. And I mean, they're my Facebook friends. I get updates on what they're doing. But it really, it's such a gift to have that kind of tangible example of how the work you do makes a difference. And I want other people to be able to feel that as well.
Absolutely. And you know from how I view the world that your vibrational level increased, and therefore you were able to be a recipient of their reconnection with you.
Yeah.
Which on one hand could sound horrible to someone who's like playing victim in their work, like
reminding me of an awful time, an awful traumatic call.
That wouldn't have come back to you. I mean, it's just
and nor would we have taken it to that other level where I then said, we have to celebrate more, and let's bring you to this conference and discuss it and share it with others. I think so. It was just very open. Yeah.
So that little everything always works out for me.
Yeah. And you know what? Actually, Mo, I didn't even think of this till right now. It was also that I finally felt comfortable acknowledging. Like, yes, I actually did. Because I always said, the grandma. And it was her. I mean, she was the one doing CPR. But I was finally able to say, that call came to me, and that I was able to provide these instructions clearly and encourage her and get her to do it. I did have a role in saving her life.
Right. And really in so many ways you were divinely appointed for that.
I believe that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, so I think I'll get given to you.
Yeah. So here you go along, kind of like increasing your vibrational level and getting a little bit out of, poor me, I'm not worth anything, and my career is kind of like all negative stuff. And you started thinking about more of a full-time career doing the accreditation and quality stuff for the 911 organization that you now work. You had done some training and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I think they said, hey, we'd love to have you on board. Tell us a little bit about what you could foresee happening. And what happened after that?
Well, I think I was even bolder than that with your encouragement. I had, because I mean, I was in a job that paid very well and was very stable, healthcare, all that kind of stuff, but it really didn't fit very well. And so I wasn't very happy in it. But money is my stressor. So giving up something that is stable was really not something I wanted to think about.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was transition within the organization that I now work for. And I had an opportunity where I was talking to a person who's now my boss about something else. And she mentioned this role and what it was. And I said, and I just went for it. I said, oh, but it could be so much more. What about these things? And I would never have done that. And nor would I have been really thinking about it to have the language to express what I thought it should be. But because I was doing your course and we were working on what our skills and what we were good at and what we loved and what my dream job would be, I had been thinking about this would be my dream job. And then the person who was in the job left and it was vacant and they were looking at making it a different type of job. And so I was just able to say, well, have you thought about this,
out of the blue?
And wouldn't this be great? And the poor woman, I think she was like, I'll have to think about that. and then a few days later, they called back and said, we would like to know more. Could you send us what you think this should be?
Right.
And so
I remember you saying, I'm frozen. I don't know what to say to people. I don't know what to do. Yeah. I'm afraid of putting too much on there. I'm afraid of, and then it's like salary requirement, and I don't know what to do, and they're not going to pay me what I really want. And I mean, there was all this stuff I remember, and through some expert coaching.
Yes, very expert coaching.
You were able to get really comfortable and fully aligned with the vision that you really felt was good for that organization. You knew them from being interacting with them and doing some work for them on a part-time basis. And lo and behold, you get the job.
Yes. I sent in, my heart and soul of what I thought it should be, big reaches, big ideas, sent it in, and I got a call from the president. I happened to be home. I would think I was homesick or something, and my home phone rang, and it was the president of the company asking me if I would come work for them.
I remember you saying to me, I think they're going to hire me. And he was going to forward it on to HR, and he didn't even blink at the salary requirement. I'm like, and you're like, maybe he didn't see it, or maybe, I'm like, well, he was passing on to HR to process the paperwork, and then you got your offer letter, and you're super excited.
Still didn't believe it.
Still, right. And I'm like, don't you have that, like, tangible evidence, Kim? And you're like, well, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. And then let's just say the self-doubt thing kind of crept in a little bit.
I had to find something to worry about.
Uh-huh.
I had to scan my environment for a way that this was not going to come true.
Old habits die hard. And then lo and behold, they call and say, oh, you're a Canadian citizen. We're a U.S. company. We've got some problems with how that's going to work out. And I remember you coming to the coaching call and saying, Mo, it's not going to happen. It's done. And I'm like, stop it right now. Canadian.
I was spiraling.
Stop.
Well, it's like, I can see it, and I'm not going to be able to have it because of this and this and this. All these things aren't going to work out for me.
Right. And I'm like, no, we're not going to let that happen. And so as you know, the way I coach is to not have an emotional attachment to negative outcomes.
Yes.
And we kind of like got you off of the negative,
and
I had you visualize the exact perfect outcome that you wanted to have. I think I suggested the Mo bathtub remedy.
Which is an excellent one with candles.
Surround yourself with positivity, visualize the perfect outcome. And then lo and behold, the following week, what happened?
Well, I went for the meeting about the, work visa and what was going to happen, and with the lawyers, and I already had what I needed from my days as being a consultant. It was totally fine. There was actually nothing we had to change, nothing. And that was a hard one. I had to
saying, I forget every time.
I had to.
I'm trying to remember.
I was like, everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Because I think that's one thing that's really important is it's behavior before belief. Like I
Yes.
did not believe it was going to work out for me
Yes.
because I couldn't see it. And I think sometimes
Yeah.
we think we have to know the perfect plan and to be able to see the outcome, and we don't know the outcome. So I just had to be, I mean, this is a meditation thing too, but I just had to be in the moment and let the universe do the work it needed to do with me getting out of the way and not
Yes.
sending
And
out that, as you call it, like negative vibration to like pull in bad stuff.
yeah. And I call it suspending disbelief, because
Yes, very
right,
much.
we cannot figure out the how. And if we have to, I always say, if we have to run back into the kitchen to help the chefs cook our dinner that we just ordered, something's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
So,
think, would you agree, it comes from people who are, type A personalities who like to be in control. Like, I don't like to let the universe be in control.
no, and the intellect /
Yeah.
the ego is
Yes.
trying to like outthink how the universe can do it.
Exactly.
And since we live in the quantum world, and thank you, Albert Einstein, for telling us about this, the quantum space moves faster than light and faster than thought.
Oh,
Things can happen in the quantum field that don't otherwise seem to materially make sense to our Newtonian cause and effect gravity knowing of how the world works. So we do appear to allow miracles to happen when we open ourselves up and we don't resist it. And your whole unfolding from the very beginning is just one revelation of opening ourselves up. And from a Christian perspective, to me, I really believe that this is what Christ was telling us. Open yourself to love, and love is the highest level of vibration.
Yes.
Open yourself to that,
100%.
and all things will come to you. So, and so we have to kind of feel that we're worthy of it too. Otherwise, if things come to us that we're not worthy, we're going to feel guilt and shame, and all this other stuff gets piled on, and then it has a negative outcome.
And I think we do things to undo good things when we don't feel worthy.
Yes.
We cause things to leave us.
Yes, we do. I happened to have another client in the workshop at the time that you were landing your dream job, and she was in the city of where your dream job was. And, and like the universe tends to go when we're open to receiving, you now had a good friend in your new city of your headquarters. And I remember your first day or your first week there, beautiful snowstorms.
Yes.
And it was just kind of like gorgeous in Salt Lake City. And I'm thinking, this is like heaven on earth.
And Tracy and I went to visit Christmas trees. We went to a Christmas tree display. It was wonderful.
So great.
I see her almost every time I go to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. You know, she recently moved.
I know, and I'm going to Salt Lake City on Sunday, and I'm not going to see her because she's now not there.
Right. What's up with that?
She's following her
yes,
path and going where she
indeed.
So.
Yes.
And I know people there now. Like, I didn't know anybody, and so she set me up well.
Yeah, right, exactly. So you have this dream job. You have suspending disbelief. You didn't let the visa thing clog the system. You let that unfold. You believed in the positive outcome. And I'll never forget, maybe the week before you literally started your job, you had lunch with someone special.
Yes, I was actually at a consulting thing I think it was in Colorado Springs, which is beautiful. I've never been there. And I tend to like to go for lunch by myself because I'm teaching or on all day. And as much of an extrovert as I am, I still just need a little time to think and collect. So I went for lunch and I was sitting there and just thinking about things. And I love teaching, so it really energized me. And I really connected with these people at this class, and things were working out for me, which is an unusual way for me to feel. And I just thought, oh my goodness, I remember you. This is the woman that you used to be before you let all of these worry, anxiety, and like negative job experiences pile on you. And yeah, I guess, did I write a Facebook post? Is that what it was? Because I just thought, oh, it was basically like me.
A selfie, and you're said, I had lunch with my best friend again after, I don't know, you said 20 years or something like that.
Yeah, kind of lost her.
Yeah. And you being the brilliant writer that you are, you really are quite a talented writer. And you wrote a paragraph about getting to see your best friend again and how you had missed her and how she's really fantastic and she's doing well. And then you kind of had the punchline at the end that it was having lunch with yourself. And it was just such a beautiful rendition, really, of when you bring your soul to work, you fall back in love with yourself. You're the highest divine perfection of you, and life unfolds, like things fall your way. And it was just
you
so,
couldn't
so perfect.
you couldn't be the architect of that. Like the ideas I have for my life aren't as good as the ideas that I get out of the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Which is really the cool thing, because most people are trying to figure out their career or not. They're just taking job to job, and they have no idea the bounty of miracles that they could possibly open themselves up to. And
I wouldn't either.
To help you see that.
Yes, you had to challenge me, and I would not have done that. Like on my own, I didn't have enough trust in myself. And I have to say, Mo, it was that I knew that it was authentic. You weren't interested in me as a client. I was your client, but you really cared, and your motivation was to see that I could be the best person that I could be. And I knew that, and just from how available you were, and you have a gift of kind of clearing the fog and saying the right thing, the right, true, and challenging thing at the right time. And yeah, after the whole everything always works out for me, I thought, well, I might as well just do what you say, because it seems to work. And it kept working, and it keeps going well. Yeah, I mean, we're having discussions about let's look at the executive coaching or your mentor program to continue, upping the game and upping the level.
Yes. And there you were recently on a stage for your national or international.
Oh, yes.
Tell us.
So I was going to be on the stage. I knew I was going to be on the stage so my job is I get to accredit 911 centers. So these are the centers who are the best of the best in the world. They have to go through a very rigorous process to become an accredited center of excellence. So I get to work with amazing people. And at the opening session of our conference, we were acknowledging and honoring these centers. So that was fine. I knew I was going to do that. And being on a stage doesn't bother me. But the little extra thing that happened as I came downstairs that morning, 20 minutes before this thing starts, the conference organizer and my boss come up and say, the keynote can't get here. She's stuck in some other city and she's not going to be here. So we think that you and two of my colleagues and the inventor of our amazing protocol are going to be on the stage, and you're going to be the keynote. It's going to be an Ask the Academy event. So just so you know, in like 40 minutes, that's what you're going to do. I was like, all right then, okay. And my first thought was, why do you think I should be on the stage? Like, these other guys, I get why they should be on the stage because they're all that, but why am I a part of this group? And then I was like, nope, I should be there too. And I'm the only woman there, and I'm going to represent for all the other women.
Yeah. Awesome. And it was
great. It was so much fun, and I think I was articulate, and I
no doubt.
I got some really great feedback, and people loved it. They loved being able to ask us questions and get answers to their big questions. And it was so much fun. It was really
right.
But 40 minutes notice.
So great. And you did make kind of a cute comment about how you had a skirt or a dress on and you had to cross your legs. And
that's a slant. Thank goodness for Princess Catherine.
Right. So you knew how to sit as a gentle woman on the stage in front of 50 people.
Because if I'd known about it beforehand, I would have worn a pantsuit. But because all the men on this stage, right, they're all comfy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they don't even have a thought about it. Like,
no,
we women always thinking, should I expose my arms or not? Should I wear a dress? Should I line up my legs? I mean, we always have all these body things that we're like.
And it wasn't just a chair. I was perched on a stool.
Yes.
So I was like, hi.
Yeah. The picture was precious. And again, your brilliant writing, your personality just oozes out of your writing. So I always love your Facebook posts. You did the first Facebook Live for your company.
Oh my goodness.
Showcasing your company.
That is one of the things I put in that initial letter I sent about what I thought this job could be. And I now do a Facebook Live. And I've taken a lot of notes from you. I wouldn't even have thought of it if I hadn't seen yours. And I do it every week. And it's hilarious. Like, they love it. I'm able to real time do training and answer questions and address issues and bring in things that are close to my heart. Like, I've done some training with them on strength-based feedback and character strengths, and Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendencies. I've done all sorts of things, and I love teaching, so that part really invigorates me. And I keep getting feedback that they really like it, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. So I didn't mention a few of the other little evidences of how the universe is working in your favor. Your father blew up your oven. And it ended up that the repairs and the insurance reimbursement ended up in your favor.
Quite a bit at a very needed time. Like,
yes.
There was a deficit, and all of a sudden they phoned, and we had more than the amount we needed.
Yes. And your new stove is the same stove I have in my place. So when you posted that Facebook group, I'm like, I know that stove.
Yeah. I let up the little blue light to say it's on. I love that stove.
So in let's just call it 2 years in round numbers. Your personality has gone from a little bit doom and gloom. It's part of it's an industrial hazard to happy, exuberant. You have landed your dream job.
Yeah,
you
I love my job.
You are working at ease. You're in the I Love Mondays club for sure. You get to work from home often. Your 4 kids are thriving.
Oh my goodness. I see my children. There were 3.5 years where I barely saw my kids and barely slept.
Yes.
And
I think I know this, but we didn't talk about this before we went on air. You had a 25th wedding anniversary also in this time frame?
We just had our 27th wedding anniversary in May. 27.
I think you went to the islands for one of them.
Last year we went to Jamaica. And my husband and I, we'd done a little trips. We'd never been away together without like children, without other people, specifically for a holiday since our honeymoon. So, yeah. And we met the most amazing people there that we're friends with. We just visited when we were they live in Orlando. We went to visit them and had introduced our kids. And they love our kids. Oh, we're going to go on vacation with our new friends from there.
So how cool. So we've got positive outlook in life, new dream job, beautiful travel, new friends, kids are thriving. You've got a college degree now.
I do. I didn't have a college degree. I did it. It's the longest time. I started it when I was right out of high school in, 89, and then became a paramedic, which wasn't degree granting. And fast forward to 2011, I'm like, I really like psychology. So I picked it up, and it took me till last August. It's like the longest degree in history, but
hey, not really. I'm sure there's people longer, but you're presenting at an international level for your career. And you know in your heart that when you stay in alignment with your soul, all things yield and come your way, and you're able to really be who you are. Like, instead of playing small and who you think people want you to be, or who you think the universe or the world or whoever is defining you, you're alive. And everyone watching this, Kim, can see this beautiful soul shining through this beautiful woman. You are fully alive.
Yes. And I want to be better. I always want to be better. But I think I can. Before, I think I was I'm in an awful place and I'm stuck here. And so I want people to know if they're in a place where they feel hopeless or they feel like things can't shift or change. I could not see a way out of the challenging situation I was in, particularly with my work. Yeah. But it also bled into my home life, and
of course,
it is so different. And now I'm like, so how can I be more better?
Right.
I believe that I can now. I didn't believe, and so if people don't believe, and because I remember looking at things you were doing or other people were doing and thinking, well, that's all right for them. They've had things work out for them, but it will work out for you too. Yes. And you don't have to believe it. You just have to take that step. You can not believe it at all, but just do it.
Go in as a skeptic and you'll come out as an
Yep.
optimist. I swear to
You
God.
will. It's this weird Mo effect that happens.
Go to the assembly, the Coach Mo assembly line, and you'll pop out like this brilliant, smiley, happy person. It's just what I do. It's just, I like magic wand, boom, Kim Rigdon is now a beautiful, happy, shiny soul with a gorgeous career, a beautiful family, a happy marriage. Gosh. So
thank you.
You're welcome. And I got to say one little other thing that's a little awkward for most people, but my services are an investment.
Yeah.
And I know that that's something that scared you. It scares 95% of the women I work with. It's a leap of faith. Mm-hmm. And I remember from when you were kind of like, I don't know if I can afford this, Mo.
Oh, I couldn't afford it.
Right.
No way.
And I always say, I don't think you cannot afford it. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the universe provided for you right along the way. And I know you landed your dream job in the 12 weeks that we were working together. So there was then that. And then other money things came your way.
They did. I had like forgotten about something where I got like $600 or it was crazy. As soon as I said yes, not knowing, more trusting, realizing even if I didn't have the money, I had to do something because I really at that time, I was really concerned for, both my mental and physical health. And I did have a while there where I thought, I don't know if I'm going to survive this. So I thought, I have to do something. And even if I don't have the money for it, I have to do something. Yes. And as soon as I said yes, with a credit card that I hoped wasn't going to bounce when you did the pay, your broken up payments. Yeah. And it just came. And I know people say that, but it really did. And I didn't have a belief that it would. It just was not, it did not turn into a hardship for me at all. And of course it was a huge benefit. I would not have this job. I wouldn't have been bold. I wouldn't have done any of the things that I learned to do in that course if I hadn't taken it. And if I didn't have you by my side going, do that. What could happen if you believe? How bad could it be?
What could happen if you believe? Oh, I don't know. I could have like this fantastic life perhaps. And it is that step across the threshold of believing. And, sometimes I think people have to believe more in me than in themselves because that's a little bit easier perhaps at the beginning.
I think you carry people for a bit and then they, because it's repetitive and there's repeated successes, they kind of take ownership. Yes. And I think also as women, I don't know if you find this, we as women do not invest in ourselves. I'm more and more am of the opinion, like the kids will all have swimming lessons, everyone will have whatever they need. It's back to that selfish. Yeah. We have to invest in ourselves because that investment in my work with you has, 100 times over benefited my family and me. Yes. But we have that initial thing where we don't think we're worth it and we don't want to. We have to spend money on ourselves to get to that level that we want to be at and be happy.
Kind of funny, and one of the times that we interacted in the Facebook group over the last couple of months, I either commented on a post or something, and it was I know you meant it in the nicest way, but it was someone who doesn't know me. It would have been like maybe funny, like really. And you said something like, "Mo doesn't ever let you go." Oh. I want to control your life. I want to make sure you're. But
no, you just check. Like I don't know how you have that many hours in the day. When I was my first Facebook Live, I actually did it wrong because I did it on my site, not on the closed group site. You were like the one person who was there. It was so fun. And then, as soon as I posted that picture about the conference, like all these milestones and successes I have, you're still there cheering me on. And I don't know how you do all that. So,
well, I have my reticular activating system. My clients and I just consider that my heart is full in part because of you and all the other women whose lives have been changed because of the work I get to do. And honestly, Kim, 30 years of my life were spent struggling and learning this and being in the boxing ring and punching back and making mistakes and falling down and being pissed off at things. And I finally kind of like figured this out over 30 years. And I kind of goof with all my ladies now. I'm giving you in 12 weeks what I've learned in 30 years.
Yeah.
It's like crash course in living a great life. So everything I ever did that caused me to learn for myself, I'm just so grateful because it's what I'm able to do for you and so many. And my heart is literally so full when I see you continue to shine and show up big and be happy and enjoy your life. It's just so great for me. I mean,
well, you're still in my head when I'm doing things. Like there was kind of a hard thing I had to do earlier today. And I was like, what would Mo tell me to do? I just need to send it out with the very best intention and decide that it's going to be fine.
Yes, right.
So I do that a lot. I think you are well situated in my brain, and you have changed the way I think.
Yeah,
so
beautiful. Well, now that you understand the psychology of it, also with your new college degree in psychology, you get the fundamentals of it as well. But I am blessed and delighted that you trusted me at this crucial time in your life, that you were able to just blossom, and you make me happy every single day. I see you shining and showing up big. Thank goodness for Facebook. I mean, there's some skeptics out there, but Facebook allows us to connect in a way that wouldn't have ever been possible 5 years ago, 10 years ago, for sure. There would have been no way we would have intersected.
Wouldn't have stumbled upon.
No. So I bless technology every single day because it allows us to do interviews like this. So I'm down in Florida, you're up in Waterloo, Ontario, and we're able to hopefully inspire others. Kim, what's one thing you would say to ladies who are listening here who are just like, oh, I don't know, what's kind of like your big takeaway that you'd like to share with others?
I think I actually already said it, but it's bears saying again. It is behavior leads to belief. You don't have to feel it in any way, shape, or form. Just take that step forward, and it's psychologically proven. If your actions create your thoughts, so you don't have to feel it. Just move forward choose the action you're going to do, and the belief will follow.
Yes, indeed. You get evidence of it. So I'm just delighted. Thank you again for joining me. And folks, if you want to do you're welcome. If you want to do what Kim did with her life, it starts with a clarity call. I mean, it sounds kind of simple, and maybe it's kind of scary to talk to a stranger on a phone call, but I help deconstruct what's not working for you. I help imagine with you what's possible. And then if I can help you, I commit myself to saying I can help you. If I can't, which sometimes I can't, I'll send you on a way that might be more helpful than the stuff I do. Kim, thanks for trusting me. It's mofaul.com. For those of you who don't know, Kim, continue being an awesome, blessed soul on this planet. You have changed the world forever because you've changed yourself, and it's just magnificent.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Folks, see you later. See you next time.